There's some insane stuff emerging, so it was reported before that consuming man was proclaimed a public crisis, since it was overflowed somebody who attempted to get away from Oprah panics, that she's been trapped in the dubious spotlight. Again, this time after the consuming man embarrassment has been connected with the Maui fires, there is no Ebola flare-up at consuming man, her dear companions Diplo and Chris Rock unintentionally made it out. One Twitter client saw the incongruity, so fans surely accept that Oprah has a section to play in the consuming man embarrassment. Yet the thing are they putting together it with respect to? And how could it be connected to the Maui fires? We should figure out. In a hurricane of occasions, the world has been grasped by a stunning association between the famous consuming man celebration and the peaceful island of Maui, as the specs associate the contention encompassing the consuming man, outrage, and Oprah's supposed contribution in the Maui fierce blaze misfortune, has left numerous in dismay. Second, the consuming man celebration, a yearly occasion held in Nevada's dark stone desert, is a festival of craftsmanship, music, and extremist self-articulation. Consistently, a huge number of participants, known as burners, accumulated to make a brief city devoted to workmanship and local area. Anyway, this year, the celebration confronted extraordinary difficulties that transformed the generally hypnotizing experience into a tumultuous trial. The dark stone desert, known for its saying temperatures and bone-dry circumstances, saw a surprising turn this year. Heavy rains, an uncommon event in this district, changed the desert's playa into a tremendous spread of mud. The downpours were determined, transforming the ground into a mess, making it almost unimaginable for participants to move around. Vehicles got stuck, tents were lowered, and the whole framework of the impermanent city was in danger with the downpour, giving no indications of easing up. Roughly 7,000 going to establish themselves caught. The celebration's entry was expeditiously shut to keep additional individuals from entering the generally turbulent grounds. Those inside were encouraged to moderate fundamental supplies, as the sloppy circumstances made it. Trying to get fortifications, water, food, and fuel turned out to be valuable wares, with a huge number proportioning their provisions, fully expecting delayed, unfavorable circumstances. A large portion of you all have presumably heard that consuming man was pronounced a public crisis, yet there's some insane stuff emerging. So it was declared before that consuming man was announced a public crisis, since it was overwhelmed. Thus they sent in FEMA, which previously appeared to be similar to a strange motivation to send in FEMA and hold anybody back from leaving the celebration amidst this disorder. Big names going to the celebration wound up confronting similar difficulties as different burners among the VIPs and powerhouses, trapped in consuming man's sloppy grasp, were Victoria's mystery model, Kelly Storm, and her life partner entertainer, Joel Kinnaman. As the celebration grounds transformed into an ocean of mud, the couple, alongside their companions, chose to assume control over issues. They picked a difficult yet reasonable break highway, a 5-mile climb through the thick mud to arrive at the blacktop dirt road 34. Gail took to Instagram to report their sloppy excursion. She shared a photograph of her feet, enclosed by strolling boots and safeguarded with plastic packs taped around them to keep the mud from leaking in. As they left on their trip, Gail subtitled one of her posts with fingers crossed, catching the vulnerability and any desire for their circumstance en route. She shared looks at their advancement, including a perky preview she named Mudman 2023 appearance. Kinnaman swimming through the mud next to her, regardless of the difficult circumstances. Gail's posts conveyed a feeling of brotherhood and assurance. She shared pictures of individual celebration participants, enclosed by dark plastic sacks, utilizing umbrella caps to protect themselves from the downpour. Yet in the midst of the misfortune, Hurricane Sol stayed whole. A later photograph showed her grinning, resolute by the difficult excursion. By the early long periods of Sunday gale, and Kinnaman's determination took care of the model, uncovered that they had effectively arrived at home. Sharing an image of herself at the air terminal with Kinnaman outlined behind the scenes, Maui likewise have Chris Rock and Diplo's departure from the celebration, which is one more demonstration of the unconventionality of the circumstance and the graciousness of outsiders. The couple, subsequent to swimming through miles of mud, was serendipitously gotten by a fan in a truck. Diplo shared their experience on Twitter, posting a short clasp of their Jeep ride and offering his thanks for the startling salvage, one of the most expected experience. While the conditions were obviously difficult, the soul of copying man appeared to participants met up, aiding each other out, sharing supplies, and offering profound help. Shoddy pathways were made utilizing wooden boards and covers, and collective tents were set up for those whose sanctuaries were obliterated. Accounts of consideration, liberality, and flexibility rose up out of the disarray, building up the celebration's center standards of common exertion and city obligation. Kindly stop. Could you all stop with this rubbish? I'm all here on the playa at my clinic, and everyone's oped. Despite misfortune, the Copying Man People group exhibited its solidarity and solidarity. While the current year's celebration will be associated with its unforeseen difficulties, it will likewise be commended for the dauntless soul of its participants. The rules might have hosed the grounds, yet they couldn't hose the soul of Copying Man in the time of virtual entertainment, where data fans out like quickly paranoid fears frequently get some decent momentum. Quickly, such was the situation with the new hypotheses encompassing Oprah Winfrey and the disastrous fierce blaze on the island of Maui. As the world wrestled with the turmoil of Copying Man, another situation was unfolding this time, including quite possibly of the most compelling figure in media. Does anybody accept those were really out of control fires? Wow, that isn't Oprah Winfrey, the news magnate and humanitarian, has long held a profound association with the island of Maui. Possessing numerous properties on the island, Oprah's affection for Maui is notable. Her immense domains, rambling more than large number of sections of land, are a demonstration of her partiality for the island's regular excellence and quietness. Maui, known for its pleasant scenes and tranquil seashores, confronted an overwhelming test when an enormous fierce blaze immersed pieces of the island. The fire, coming about because of drawn-out dry spell-like circumstances, resulted in a path of obliteration. Afterward, homes were obliterated, vegetation were impacted, and the island's occupants were left in a territory of shock and hopelessness. As the insight about the out-of-control fire spread, netizens started to draw an obvious conclusion. Reports began coursing about Oprah's expected contribution in the flames. Some trick scholars recommended that the fire was a conscious demonstration to clear land for additional improvement, while others accepted it was a redirection from some other secret movement. Fanning the fire of hypothesis was the hypothesis that Oprah had underground offices or shelters in her Maui properties. These reputed hideaways were accepted to be places of refuge intended to safeguard the tip-top from worldwide fiasco speculations. Said that these underground offices were loaded with basics and could support life for broadened periods. While there was no substantial proof to help these cases, the simple relationship of Oprah's name with such speculations gave them validity. According to numerous virtual entertainment stages, were overflowing with conversations, discussions, and contentions, with clients sharing proof as satellite pictures, old meetings, and even bits from Oprah shows. Who might have figured a flood would hit Nevada during the Copying Man celebration? 77,000 individuals abandoned right now due to a flood. Public watchmen in Phenom are now there in Dark Stone City. The planning of the Copying Man disorder and the Maui out-of-control fire gave fruitful ground to scheme. Scholars, a few accepted that the occasions at Copying Man were coordinated to redirect consideration from the Maui circumstance. The thought was that while the world zeroed in on the celebration's difficulties, exercises connected with the Maui connivance could be done prudently. Recordings and pictures from the two occasions additionally energized these hypotheses. Cuts showing the critical circumstances at Copying Man and the pulverization in Maui were compared. Drawing matches And proposing a more profound association between the two occasions, the fast spread of the Oprah Maui paranoid fear highlights the influence and impact of web-based entertainment in this day and age. With stages taking into account moment sharing and dispersal of data, it becomes in progressively testing to isolate truth from fiction. While certain clients scrutinized